Trump's outrageous claim, tariffs could have prevented the Great Depression. In a startling and controversial assertion, former President Donald Trump stirred reactions on social media this Wednesday after suggesting that the United States' failure to maintain high tariffs was the key factor in the onset of the Great Depression of 1929. The comments, delivered during a Rose Garden appearance, quickly sparked disbelief, with many critics pointing out the factual inaccuracies in Trump's historical interpretation. The event was organized to highlight Trump's recent Liberation Day tariffs, which he hailed as a game-changer for American trade policy. Accompanied by a hand-picked audience that included high-profile figures such as Vice President JD Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and a group of Michigan auto workers, Trump emphasized the importance of tariffs as a means to protect American interests. He announced the signing of a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries around the globe. However, it was Trump's subsequent remarks that garnered widespread attention. As he delved into what he termed a history lesson, he made the startling claim that the lack of tariffs in the years leading up to the Great Depression was a critical mistake that led the country into economic collapse. In 1913, Trump said, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary to run our government. He continued, discussing the events of 1929, stating, then, in 1929, it all came to a very abrupt end with the Great Depression, and it would have never happened if they had stayed with the tariff policy. It would have been a much different story. They tried to bring back tariffs to save our country, but it was too late. It was gone. Nothing could have been done. Trump's historical narrative did not end there. He proceeded to suggest that the economic challenges of the 1930s extended far beyond the era of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose policies, according to Trump, only began to alleviate the economic downturn long after his presidency. It took years and years to get out of that depression, Trump said, far longer than even FDR had that office right over there for a long period of time. The ramp system, it's rather intricate, was built because of him, and every time you walk up you think of him. And he did a great job in many ways, but it lasted long beyond his terms, as you know. In a final plea for optimism, Trump assured his audience that the United States would reclaim its economic strength under his leadership, declaring, it's not too late any longer, and we're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again. These comments sparked an immediate backlash from historians, economists, and political commentators, many of whom pointed out the factual flaws in Trump's argument. For instance, columnist Brian J. Karem highlighted the fact that tariffs were, in fact, a significant part of the economic landscape in the years leading up to the Great Depression. In 1930, President Herbert Hoover signed the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which raised import duties by an average of 20%. Rather than preventing the Depression, this tariff is widely regarded as exacerbating the economic downturn by stifling international trade. Aaron Reichlin Melnick, senior fellow at the American Immigration Council, tweeted, Trump just claimed the Great Depression wouldn't have happened if we still had tariffs. I can't even... Economist and Bloomberg reporter Stephen T. Dennis also weighed in, writing, Trump claims lack of tariffs caused the Great Depression. All the free trader economist heads are going to explode. The Financial Times' Alan Beatty expressed his disbelief succinctly, stating, Trump thinks that cutting tariffs caused the Great Depression. I mean, it's a view, I guess. These responses highlight the growing frustration with Trump's historical revisionism, especially when it comes to the complex economic factors that contributed to the Great Depression. While it is true that tariffs played a role in the economic policies of the early 20th century, the assertion that the lack of tariffs was the primary cause of the Depression is both misleading and simplistic. The causes of the Great Depression were multifaceted, including stock market speculation, bank failures, and a lack of effective regulation, issues that cannot be boiled down to a single factor like tariffs. As the debate continues to unfold, it is clear that Trump's comments have ignited a larger conversation about the role of tariffs in modern economic policy. While some supporters may see his rhetoric as a bold stance against global trade practices, others are left questioning the historical accuracy and depth of his understanding.